a lot of conversations about whose name was going to go first, and obviously I lost. So,
Well, I mean, you weren't in at the office for a couple of days.
and it was your decision how to decorate back here. So I feel like I've had zero input on what this show is and what the show is going to be. But what is this show?
Hey, it's going to be a surprise for you then.
Right,
You're going
right.
to find out with everyone else. Welcome, everybody. So great to have you here for Check-In, which is going to be our new game day show brought to you by myself and Jamie Thomas, of course, presuming he doesn't leave partway through the show. And
Could happen.
in a fit, you never know. We're going to be coming to you at 12:30 Central on game days, on most game days. Right? Obviously, we'll have to adjust some of that around when you look at some of the start times. 2 p.m., maybe a 12:30 start wouldn't be the best time, but we will be sure to let you know. So throughout this next half an hour or so, in typical format, you will hear from players. We will get you set for what's happened at morning skate, the news and notes, and a little bit about the opponent as well. And what better way to kick it off than game one against the Edmonton Oilers?
Yeah, a very interesting matchup to kick off the season in Edmonton, as the Oilers will be raising their Western Conference banner here after coming up just short in the Stanley Cup final, and just a great opportunity for the Jets special teams to see where they rank in that part, especially the penalty kills. They go up against one of the best power plays in the National Hockey League with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. But just a great matchup. Oilers Jets have always been fantastic in terms of entertainment value. I don't
in
think
the
today,
80s and beyond.
Yes, yeah, certainly not. It hasn't been any difference since the Jets came back to Winnipeg in the National Hockey League, for sure.
Yeah, I've got to get used to standing right now. We were sitting before, but I always give Jamie a hard time. I always ask him to come out for walks with me during shower, and he hates it. So instead, he's compromised. He said, we'll stand and we'll just walk in place and maybe get our steps in that way.
Here, I'll show you.
No, okay. See, it's already gone off the rails, and we are approximately, I don't know, 2 minutes in. It's
Just keep going.
I don't know
Like, look.
what's going.
Look, we look like little kids sitting at the table like this. It looks
I kind
ridiculous.
of like the dynamic of this. We might stay like this,
Hi,
actually.
I'm at the kids' table. We're having brunch. Thank you so much.
All right, so
Okay.
the Winnipeg Jets have just taken to the ice in Edmonton with the time change, with them being an hour behind. Obviously, we aren't able to give at this moment definitive lines. Oh, look, you guys clearly need
Remus,
the volume. Can
Yeah.
we turn up the volume? Oh,
pump up the volume. Anybody?
you
Anybody
know
on
what?
that
Maybe
one?
Jamie will sing for everybody. That's
No,
probably
no,
what we
let's
should
go
do.
like this.
Let's see.
Okay, no.
All right. Well, we'll see how this all goes. But we are going to do, because of the time change today and with the Jets being on the ice, the player interview, we are not going to be able to do, but we will have Paul Edmonds to help set us up. He is there in Edmonton at Rogers Place right now watching morning skate. And then we will also have Cam Moon, who calls Oilers games, to be able to give us a little bit of a perspective. And then the excitement. We get to interact with all of you fans. That was one of our favorite things that we did during the playoffs when we tried out this format. We love being able to see so many people in the chat. And with this being our first show, we wanted to add a little something extra. And how about tickets to the home opener as a giveaway? Pretty great way to start.
Yeah, and of course you got to wait for a little bit later in the show for the code word. There'll be the link in the chat off to the side. So that great opportunity for that home opener, which is this Friday against the Chicago Blackhawks here at Canada Life Center. Looking forward to that one. But let's continue our focus on what is happening tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. Just so many things to think about. And there was some drama. To start things off, we got a message from our social media guru, Cam Penny, who told us that it was Capo Kakinen and Eric Comrie to start on the ice before warm-up today. And that got us a little bit, concerned. With the,
Well, I wasn't concerned. It was before warm-up started.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you were.
I might have
but-
been, I was panicking a little bit. So
The great news, though, Connor Hellebuck is on the ice. Mitchell Clinton reporting that he is going through his starting routine that we all know well. It is a tweet that we look forward to because we see it so often from Mitchell throughout the season. So good news, Connor Hellebuck, who hadn't practiced for a couple of days with the team dealing with a private family matter, did skate yesterday by himself with Wade Flaherty and then joined the team in Edmonton and is going through his routine. So great news on that start.
Yeah, there is the tweet from Mitchell Clinton. This is like timeless. This is what Mitchell Clinton does to all of us. Lets us know that Connor Hellebuck's starting routine is underway as the morning skate gets underway at Rogers Arena. I always get confused. Rogers Place.
Is it Rogers Place?
Rogers Arena's in Vancouver.
Rogers Place.
Rogers
There you
Center,
go.
Toronto.
There you go. Very good news. Ryan says the fact that Hellebuck is on the ice, absolutely. That's what everybody wants to know. We want to hear about you. Let's get some of that conversation going. As mentioned, we are going to go for about half an hour. We are going to be done before Winnipeg Sports Talk, because that is where you want to make sure that you are at 1 o'clock to continue the Bombers and Jets conversations, inevitably, that Huss and Remus are going to have. And Hustler will be able to update you a little bit more with news that's coming out from the Jets room. Again, just because of the time change that we are dealing with at the moment. Let's go with the question of the day.
Let's throw it up.
What is it?
What is your bold prediction for the Winnipeg Jets season? So Paul Edmonds will be joining us live from Edmonton here in 5 minutes. So I'll go first.
Sure.
I'll go first on this one.
You can have something.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
My bold prediction is the Winnipeg Jets will finish first in the Central Division, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
So much is made about their special teams. Special teams was a little bit off last year, lost them some games, in particular the power play. I believe the Jets will improve and be a top 10 group in both power play and penalty kill, which will allow them to win the necessary games to get them to the top of the Central Division, which is a loaded division. If you think about everything that happened in the offseason, Nashville loaded up, Utah is going to be better, and the usual customers in Dallas and Colorado. But the Winnipeg Jets, my bold prediction, will finish first in the Central. Your turn.
Okay. Well, you went broad in terms of team. I'm going to go with something more specific. So I'm going to go with Colin Miller, who re-signed with the Jets this summer on July 1st, that 2-year deal. We didn't get to see a lot of him after he was acquired at the trade deadline when he came over, but I'm going to say that he is going to hit double digits in the blue line. I think he had the hardest recorded shot last year in the NHL. Also, when you look at what he's been able to do, I mean, in the limited work that we've seen with it so far, he had 10 goals one time in his career. That was the 2017-18 season, I believe, with Vegas. And so I'm going to say that he's going to get back to double digits.
All right. So some of the bold predictions coming in. Chris,
that is bold.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Matt. Bold prediction from Chris. He says they're going to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. Pasquale, hello, Winnipeg. Best of luck this season. Rat River Rebel. Brad Lambert will play 25 plus games this year, which is totally fair. Had a great preseason, had a great training camp as well. And obviously you have to think about if there's an injury in the top 6, Brad Lambert might be thought of one of the first call-ups for the Winnipeg Jets. CDS TV, Velarde almost gets to a point per game this year, and he'll play more than 75, which is what we really need to see. Thank you, Rick, for letting us know about the mic volume as well. We are working on it as we go along here. So thank you so much. Anybody that's having problems signing in for the question of the day, it's in the link in the chat. So keep trying that way, and we'll try and figure out what's going on.
And the passcode that you're going to need in order to try to win those tickets for the home opener on Friday has not been given yet.
Yeah.
Do you think we're just going to give that right off the top? Of course not. You have to wait for a while. We want to hear what your predictions are. Kelly, I believe Jets will bring the Stanley Cup to Winnipeg. You know what? I love that, Kelly.
Yeah,
now, could you imagine Portage in Maine, what it would be like?
Great picture of the dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. June 7, predicting that Ehlers gets re-signed before trade deadline. I like all these. Let's hear some more of them. Where I saw someone is in from Morden that is having part of this conversation. And I'm not sure where it went. Oh, Phyllis. Hey, Phyllis. Thanks so much for joining us. And I see that you are a Bombers fan as well. So they're having quite the season too.
D says Kyle Connor will get 45 plus
Look
goals.
at all of these. I love it.
See, there's a lot of positivity ripping through here. Ehlers scores 30 plus goals, 70 plus points with PP one time. That's nothing wrong with that.
No, I love, inevitably, we're going to be talking a lot about the power plays this season goes on. When you think about the new role, people have been clamoring to see Nikolai Ehlers for years on that first power play unit. He is certainly getting his shot. He's being put in the bumper position. He saw success during the preseason. Now, I'm not a person that really goes by preseason success. So I think that we got to see what happens in the regular season, but certainly the signs were there. I love to be able to see what he can do there. You know what a dynamic player he is. So special teams, I mean, you mentioned it. The power play is going to be key for them to get going. So too is the penalty kill, and you're going to want to be disciplined against this Edmonton Oilers team.
Well, we're as close to 1240 as we're going to get. So as promised, our good friend Paul Edmonds, the play-by-play voice of the Winnipeg Jets, will be joining us here momentarily, and there he is, looking good in Edmonton.
Hey, Paulie.
How's it going?
Oh, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah,
Or,
no
you know, I was
problem.
a little hesitant to ask because Paul's always so focused on the morning skate running through. But as soon as we sent out, look at him, you can tell that he's still watching. So he's going to make sure that he can update us live if anything happens. But I was concerned about it, but right away he said, of course he's going to join us. So thanks so much again, Paulie, for making a little bit of time for us.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, no problem.
3 questions for
Okay.
you, and we'll let you go
Hit
on
me.
your way. We're going to start this off with, what about Connor Hellebuck? What are your expectations for the Vezina Trophy winner in 24-25?
Oh, I don't think there's any falling off with Connor Hellebuck. He's right in his prime. He's in the first year of a new 7-year agreement. I think he's coming off another Vezina Trophy season where, he's got a few things to follow up. Now, he's often said this, and it came after the first time that he won the Vezina, that, yeah, the individual accolades are great, but I'm after the one sort of elusive accolade for my team, and that's to win a Stanley Cup. So I think that it really begins and ends with Connor Hellebuck in goal for the Winnipeg Jets. It is a major starting point. Um, and that's a starting point that really is the envy right across the National Hockey League. There's 31 other teams that would love to have Connor Hellebuck starting the season in goal as their primary goaltender. I think you're probably going to see about 63 to 66 starts from him, as per usual. And then we'll see exactly what happens with Comrie or Kakinen as the backup goalie throughout the course of this year, which we still don't know at the morning skate which guy it's going to be that's the backup because they're carrying 3 goaltenders. But I think that Connor Hellebuck will be poised for another excellent season, and that will only bode well for the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, I think there's so much excitement for this season opener, and obviously when the Jets play their home opener on Friday, we know everything that goes along with a home opener, the announcement of the rosters. It always takes a little bit longer than what a typical game would be. What is that first game like when you're on the road? I mean, obviously you're sitting up in the broadcast booth, and it throws everything a little bit off, but what's it like for a visiting team when you start on the road and there's all of the pomp and circumstance that goes with
Celebrations, pageantry.
especially when you have the banner like the Oilers do as well.
Well, from what I understand, they're not really going to raise that Western
is it
Conference
already up there?
Championship banner. It's already up.
Oh,
So they're going
I heard
to
some
kind of
debate on
avoid
Edmonton
that.
Sports Talk this morning about whether or not they were going to be raising it, and this really disappoints JT because he was hoping that there would be a very long ceremony watching them raise it.
Well, you always get the player introductions, and there might be something that acknowledges the run that the Edmonton Oilers had last year. But, if I'm the Winnipeg Jets, I'm feeling pretty good about the situation coming in as the road team because there's a lot of expectation. There is a lot of pressure, I believe, on the Edmonton Oilers this year, and it begins now. Not only that, but they sort of had, for lack of a better term, a pedestrian preseason. They didn't look very engaged. They didn't look very focused. And from that standpoint, at 4-4 through the 8 games that they played, are they going to be able to try to find that light switch and flick it on? Where I thought that the Winnipeg Jets were pretty consistent to build through their 6 games in the preseason at 3-2-1. So I like the position the Jets are in tonight. I've got a really good feeling about this one for the Jets because of the reasons that I mentioned. And certainly I think because of where Edmonton is, and they're expected to go 82-0 this year, folks, right? So from that standpoint, Sarah and JT, I mean, again, I wonder how they feel about this game. And Winnipeg would love to come in here and surprise the Edmonton Oilers, a place where they've had some success in the last few years, a place where certainly they've always played the Edmonton Oilers tough. And I think that Winnipeg has something to prove as well. There's a lot of people that are on the fence as to whether the Jets are going to make the playoffs or not. I have them in unequivocally, but there's a lot of people around certain markets, maybe in our own to some degree, that are just kind of holding back in a wait-and-see approach.
Last one for you, my friend. How special do the special teams have to be in 24-25?
Well, I don't think that you have to be overtly special. I think that they need to improve from a standpoint that's just incremental. Shave off a few goals on the penalty kill that you gave up. They got off to a real bad start last year, of course, and that really skewed the number for their penalty kill. And add a few on the power play. And if you do that, then, of course, the numbers are going to go up, and you're going to win a few more games. And I think it was said best by Scott Arniel. He said, I'm not looking for my power play to go up by 10 points. I'm looking for my power play to win me a game when it's 3-3 and there's 2 minutes left and the opposition is taking a penalty. That's where I want a power play goal to come from. That's where I want my power play to seize the opportunity to win a game. So I think that it's just slight tweaks and that with those tweaks from the new specialty coaches that they have in Davis Payne and in Dean Chanel, if you shave a couple of goals off from the penalty kill, add a couple on the power play, the specialty teams will improve by the percentages, and I think the Winnipeg Jets will improve certainly on perhaps scoring a few more goals, letting a few more less in, and then maybe adding on to what was already a 52-win season and a franchise record last year.
Excellent stuff, my friend. Get back to it. Thank you so much for joining us, and looking forward to your work on the radio and with us throughout the year, my friend.
Congratulations on a new show, and thanks for making me an inaugural guest.
Thanks,
Anytime.
buddy.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Thanks, Paulie. Have a great call tonight.
Yeah, see you later.
All right, Paul Edmonds. Cam Moon will be joining us. He is the radio voice of the Edmonton Oilers on Ched Radio in Edmonton. He'll give us an Oiler perspective. I'm really disappointed they weren't raising the banner.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This is
But
going
that
to
means
really
that-
throw JT off for the rest of the day.
That means we're not going to be up past 12:30 tonight, though, because of it. So,
Hallelujah.
yeah, so I'm going to get rid of this chair. It's quite.
Jamie and I have already gone for coffee, our second coffee of the day. So maybe this means that we won't have to go for a third. Just remember that before this show is over today, that we will be giving away those tickets to the home opener on Friday against the Chicago Blackhawks. Do we have what the projected lineup is supposed to be? What the lines are? What we are thinking for the Jets today? Oh, there we go. This is what
Thank
we
you
are
very much.
expecting. This is what we are expecting it to look like. No real surprises when you look at what we're seeing up front. That's really what I think everyone would have anticipated. Same with the blue line as well.
Yeah, I think, the line that I'm looking at tonight, we're clearly comfortable with Connor Scheifele, Velarde. That's been intact for a long time. Niederreiter, Lowry, Appleton. But I think a lot of pressure will go on the Nemestikov line tonight. I wrote about this on NHL.com/Jets about the second line, the expectations that the coaching staff have with them, with Perfetti, Nemestikov, and Ehlers. I remember last year, I think it was about 3 games in, they were put together. They were together for about 18 straight games, just getting to learn one another. They've all played together numerous times in separate lines as well. But a lot of expectations for them offensively and certainly defensively. And tonight, because the Oilers will have last change, the Nemestikov line will be matched up with one of the Oilers' top lines with Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid. So a lot of pressure on the number 2 line here tonight, not only with the Lowry line and Scheifele line on top of that.
Yeah, Nikolai Ehlers spoke about it before the team left for Edmonton, and he said he compared themselves really to a puzzle, that they're still trying to fit the pieces together. Obviously, in particular, he and Nemesnikov have played together a lot, trying to get that chemistry going with Cole Perfetti too. And I think there was a lot of discussion about adding, seeing players take that next step in their game. You obviously want to be able to see Nemesnikov, who is really that Swiss Army knife that you can put throughout the lineup in different positions. We saw it last year. I think inevitably we're going to see it at some point this season as well, but starting in that second line center role and really looking for some development in that chemistry. And Cole Perfetti will be one of those players that are watched on to take the next step with their game.
So we asked you a little bit earlier in the show what your bold prediction for the Winnipeg Jets was. Debbie's got a great one. I hope Paul Maurice's wish comes true and the Jets win the Stanley Cup. Pretty hard
Don't we all, Debbie?
to forget that one. Yes, Debbie, that is a great memory. Bradley Hellebuck is in net tonight. The routine has already started, so Connor Hellebuck will indeed be the starter tonight against the Edmonton Oilers as the Jets kick off the regular season. We're going to have Cam Moon joining us here momentarily, the play-by-play voice. And, of course, as Sarah's mentioned and I've mentioned, we are giving away tickets to the home opener against the Chicago Blackhawks coming up a little bit later, probably after Cam Moon joins us. Wouldn't be the right time to do it?
I would think so.
Yeah.
It seems appropriate. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be such a great atmosphere. If you haven't had the opportunity to get down to Canada Life Center yet throughout the preseason, we've seen a number of changes here in the building. There's different food options. We see difference with the game presentation as well. We often see a band or DJ. So there's been a ton of different changes and improvements to the experience as well. And you know that nothing beats that energy of a home opener when you get to see everybody announced and come out, and that celebration of being able to kick off another season. It's 14th season for the team being here in town. So it should be a good one with a number of milestones right on the cusp that could be hit. And there is a milestone that we can hit tonight.
Good one. Thanks to our good friend Joe Pascucci, a former boss of mine, of course, a friend of the show. Kyle Connor, a special record coming up. Kyle Connor of the Winnipeg Jets has scored a goal in his past 6 season opening games, and can set the NHL record tonight should he find the back of the net again tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. So one of many reasons to watch tonight's game, and another reason to be excited about the game from an Oilers perspective, not that we like to do this very often on the show, is Cam Moon. Cam Moon.
We are excited to have you on the show, Cam. 'Cause let me tell you, Jamie has been waiting anxiously to be able to talk with you. Cam's coming up soon. Cam's coming up soon. So thanks so much for taking a few minutes, Cam, to join us.
Yeah, no problem. I don't know that I can live up to the hype, quite honestly, but I'll do what I can.
He sets the bar pretty high, but
Yeah.
we're confident that you can, Cam.
After we spent all that time together in Penticton, I have talked so much about you, and we're going to start with a tough one for you.
Sure.
Is the pressure of what happened last year, the slow start for the Edmonton Oilers, we all know how it finished, is that kind of looming in the background for the Oilers as they enter this season?
Well, I think it's, certainly something that is, I wouldn't say top of mind, but something that is still around. I mean, there was a lot of excitement and hype going into last year, and they come out of the gate 2-9-1 and put themselves in a tough spot, but were able to dig themselves out of it, which, I mean, it took a coaching change and a whole lot of things to go well, which they did. But yeah, it was a tough start. Clearly, they would like to be a lot better this year out of the gate. But I mean, it's a new year. It's a new team. To me, it's different. So we'll see how it goes tonight. I know it's going to be this is a great matchup, and it's two really good teams. But I hope that they're able to just put all of last season aside, whether that be the tough start or going to the Stanley Cup final. All those things, they're done, and they've got to turn a page.
You mentioned a new team in terms of some of the personnel, the core obviously remaining there in Edmonton, similar to as it is in Winnipeg, but we saw some departures, as always happens with the Jets. What is it that this Oilers team looks like with maybe some of the new faces that have been added to the group?
Well, up front, Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson both work into the top six, so that gives the top six a different look. Vasily Podkolzin, who came over via the Vancouver Canucks, gives the team a different look within their forward group, and brings some youth in there. And I'm looking forward to seeing how he progresses over the course of the year. And then, of course, the defense difference. Cody Ceci, he goes to San Jose via trade. Vincent Desharnais goes to Vancouver via free agency. So the defense has a different look. Ty Emberson comes the other way from San Jose. You've seen Troy Stetcher, who was with the team last year. They got at the trading deadline, but then had some injury issues late in the season. Him, along with Travis Dermott, who was able to, on a PTO, get a contract. So the defense on the right side takes a different look. So, yeah, but that's about it. I mean, going into camp, there weren't a lot of spots available. There wasn't, a lot of drama and intrigue as far as training camp went because of, those deals had been made in the summer or via free agency or what have you, that, that you kind of knew what the team would probably look like when you got to opening night. And I would say that's fairly close. Yes.
I cannot bring you on the show without asking you about a question about the goaltending. Of course, the Four Nation Face-Off is coming up in February. Stuart Skinner kind of in that conversation to be one of Canada's goaltenders. Is that in the back of his mind as he kicks off this year?
I don't think so. I know Stuart was asked about it the other day, and he said that it would be, he would welcome it and would love it and would be honored, but not something that's top of mind. I think top of mind is just getting the team off to a good start. And Stuart, to me, his greatest asset is his ability to whether things go well or not well, he doesn't have the highs and lows. He really rides through it incredibly well. And his ability to be chill in moments when it doesn't seem like one would be is, to me, his greatest asset. So I don't think that's top of mind for him, but I think he's in the conversation. I mean, we'll see how the first half of the season goes, but based on what he has done the last couple of years, and you look at goaltenders that are Canadian, I'd say he's in the conversation.
A quick final question for you. We know that Winnipeg Jets fans are going to be watching for tonight really from their perspective, but since they're going to be watching this game or listening to it on the radio, give them something from the Oilers' perspective that you feel they should be watching for, whether it be something from a team point of view or from an individual player.
Well, just seeing how the team gets out of the gate. And I think that's the same for both clubs. I mean, there's expectations, high expectations on both sides of the ledger here. And that's what brings intrigue for me for tonight, because both teams want to start off 1-0. And when you're playing an opponent as good as the opponent is for both these teams tonight, that makes it incredibly challenging. And I just look at how good the games have been between Edmonton and Winnipeg the last few years, that I expect no less tonight. So I'm not really focusing on individuals tonight, but team play. And see if the Oilers, if they get chances on the power play, are they going to be able to connect? And same thing on the Winnipeg side. I look at all the talent. They're out there right now with the morning skate. I came in underneath here just so I could hear you because it was a little loud, but they're working on their power play too. And I look at the talent that they have on the ice. And I know the power play and the penalty kill, took a bit of heat last year, but it's still, there's a lot of talent on the ice. So I can't wait. I'm just so excited that we're finally playing the games for real. And as much as I love Penticton, and I love Penticton because the Young Stars is wonderful, and you get to do, see these games and see the up and comers, and the preseason same thing to see the prospects. But now we're at the real deal. So I am fired up for tonight.
All right, he is Saskatoon Blades legend Cam Moon. Always good to talk to you, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks for having me on.
Thanks so much, Cam. He did live up to the hype. Hopefully we'll be able to have him back on when the teams play each other next in March. Quickly, before we wrap things up, before we give you the code as well, or the password to be able to win those tickets.
So now?
No.
Okay.
What I wanted to see quickly was this is what the Oilers lineup looks like, or what their projected lineup is going to look like for tonight. Now, they only had an optional morning skate today, so this is just what we are anticipating. When you look at it, yes. So you heard Cam speak obviously about McDavid, Draisaitl. We know about the new deals as well, and you also talked about Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson on that second line. So obviously a new look second line for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, of course, Evan Bouchard had a tremendous year last year for the Oilers as part of that incredible power play. Stuart Skinner getting the start. Skinner's had a lot of success against the Jets over the years, but it'll be lots of fun tonight in Edmonton.
What about the matchup in terms of what the Jets?
Well, I think we talked about it just a little bit earlier. It's just like what,
they won't have last change.
Last change, so it's going to make it very difficult for Scott Arniel, who, by the way, is making his debut tonight as the official head coach of the Winnipeg Jets. We should not.
We absolutely need to make mention of that.
Yeah, we can't leave that out. So we're really happy for Scott for that opportunity. But I just think it's going to be that chess match about how you're going to be able to contain Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Of course, every once in a while they're going to get thrown together as they tend to throughout the night. But it's a big chess match tonight for Scott Arniel and the coaching staff to get those matchups that they want as the visiting team. So as promised, we have two tickets?
I hope so.
2 tickets?
Two tickets.
Confirmed over there from the producer.
I mean, you'd still want to come if you only had 1 ticket, but it'd be a little bit awkward.
I don't know if there's even a contest out there where you give out 1 ticket, but that would be fascinating. That's for another time.
We'll look into that. Into that.
Here's your passcode. It's home opener. That's what you type into the link in the chat room, and you will be on your way, or possibly on your way, to Canada Life Center on Friday. 7 o'clock puck drop against the Chicago Blackhawks. Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks losing their season opener in Utah last night. Those jerseys look pretty sharp. Very happy for the people of Utah to have an NHL team, and happy for that team to actually have fans in the building.
Yes, I'm looking forward to being able to see when the Jets play in Utah as well. Also looking forward to seeing the Chicago Blackhawks team, which I don't think I don't think people are expecting them to be able to make it into the postseason this year. It'd be challenging, but you just look for that continued growth, and it's always fun when you're able to see Bedard play in person as well, and the matchup as he continues to grow as a player within the league. Just a reminder again, passcode home opener. We are going to give away those tickets, so you need to make sure that you get in quickly, because as mentioned, we are going to wrap this up shortly because we want you to be able to get over as well to Winnipeg Sports Talk and be able to listen to Huss and Remus.
Right on time. We did it in 30 minutes. Amazing.
That's phenomenal.
Should we remind people? Oh, by the way, if you are coming to the game, don't forget, on Friday, 12:30, the same time you just had today, You're going to check in with us on Friday for the home opener against the Chicago Blackhawks, another pregame show, which we'll be bringing to you through all 82 games for the most part at 12:30 p.m. Central. Most part.
For the most part. We're looking forward to it. We're just going to give this another couple of minutes because we want to make sure that we are able to let all of you know
what are you
who
doing?
wins. Well, I just,
What? Like,
sorry.
do you just want to take
Just-
over?
Thanks for coming. Told you. We might not last 82 games. We might not even last one.
Okay, you done?
For it. All right, go for it.
What do we
Here
have?
we go. We have the winner. Congratulations.
Sean Grabinski.
There you go.
I don't have my glasses on, so I'm hoping that was right. Sean Grabinski is the winner of 2 tickets, so I'm hoping that was the right thing. 2 tickets to games against Chicago Blackhawks. On behalf of Paul Edmonds, Cam Moon, the people behind the scenes, Adam, Luke, and so many others. She's Sarah Lesky. I'm Jamie Thomas. Thanks so much for watching Check In. We'll see you on Friday.
Looking forward to it.